Okay, I've received a number of messages over the last few days asking when I'm going to admit that I was wrong because Elon has bought Twitter and I said that it was a terrible deal, that it made no sense. In fact, I called it dumb. And people are telling me that I don't understand 4D chess, which is true because it's not an actual thing. I've Googled it, there's no such thing. So anyhow, I'm here to own up to say that I was wrong and that you guys were right. Elon has bought Twitter. Hold on. I'm sorry, there's some news. Oh, it seems Elon Musk, the founder of Twitter, has put his takeover of Twitter, the company that he founded, temporarily on hold over concerns about the number of spam and fake accounts on the social media platform. He announced on Twitter, which is his official communications platform, that the deal is being held pending details supporting a calculation in the company's regulatory filings, suggesting that the number of fake accounts on the platform represents under 5% of its 229 million users. Now, like I said, I don't know much about 4D chess, but when I look in a regular chess manual, it says that temporarily on hold is against the rules of the game. Elon has, since my last video, entered into a legal contract requiring him to buy Twitter. And I even have the contract right here. I was lying about it being a chess manual. It's actually just a contract. And essentially in section 6.3, it says that the parties to the contract have to make their best efforts to close the deal at the agreed price. Now, there's no section in it about temporary holds. Temporary holds are not a thing, actually. So can he back out of the deal if more than 5% of the active accounts on Twitter are bots? The answer is not really, at least not really based upon this legal contract. The 5% figure is something that's disclosed in Twitter's securities filings, and it's been in all of their filings going back to 2014, along with a footnote disclosure that says, in making this determination, we applied significant judgment, so our estimation of false or spam accounts may not accurately represent the actual number of such accounts, and the actual number of false or spam accounts could be higher than we have estimated. Now, the merger agreement does contain a provision that allows the buyer to back out if Twitter's security filings are false, but only if the inaccuracy would have what's known as a material adverse effect. It's called a MAC clause on the company. A material adverse effect under Delaware law is something that would substantially threaten the overall earnings potential of the target in a durationally significant manner. And historically, this has been a pretty high bar in Delaware courts, and a material adverse effect has had to show a 40% or greater decrease in long-term profitability. So even if 25% of Twitter's active users turn out to be bots, the deal still has to go through according to this contract. Now, so far today, there have been no securities filings about the deal being on hold, and there's no press release from Twitter, but there's a good chance that that will possibly have come out before I even have released this video. In most merger agreements, there is a clause saying that the buyer and the seller will consult with each other before issuing press releases or making public statements about the deal. And amusingly, this deal does have such a clause, but there's a carve-out for Elon saying that he can tweet about the deal as long as the tweets don't disparage the company or any of its representatives. So, yeah. So can Elon just pay the $1 billion deal break fee and walk away? Well, once again, according to the contract, the answer is no. The contract gives Twitter the right to force him to close and to put up the $27.5 billion that he has committed as long as his debt financing comes through. The contract gives Twitter the right to go to court to force him to try and get that debt financing, and he should be able to get that debt financing as his bank banks have signed reasonably unconditional commitment letters. So contractually, this deal should go through and Twitter should reasonably be able to sue and win. But just because that's what's required by law doesn't mean that it's what will happen. Like I said in my video a few weeks ago, this deal is really dumb. I described it as being a whimsical offer from the start. The deal spread was wide to start with. By that I mean the price the stock was trading at didn't go anywhere near the deal price, which implied that merger arb traders just didn't believe it was happening. And not only was it wide to begin with, but it only widened over time. And this is just because no one serious wanted to bet their money that Elon Musk would do what he said he would do. Elon has violated all sorts of securities laws so far in the deal, and he'll likely get hit with some small fines from the SEC and the FTC over these infractions. There's a decent chance that he'll offer a lower price. My guess is $42.69 a share, maybe next week. But there's also a good chance that he'll just walk away from the deal. And if he does that, Twitter can sue him. And they're in the right, but they probably won't do that just because it's going to be a nightmare of dealing with this for years. Basically, this is a dumpster fire of a deal. It's a total mess, and that's why no one is really getting that involved in it. Anyhow, that's all for now. If you didn't watch my earlier video on the deal, you can watch it. In fact, I explained the financing part of it on the audio podcast that I have. That's on Spotify. It's sort of a longer version of the video that was audio only. Kind of was released after the video was released, so I had more information in it. Anyhow, see you guys later. Have a great weekend. Bye.